afternoon. How's everybody? Good. Liking to be out of class for a few minutes? Yeah? You want to see some fire?
Yeah!
That's a little scary.
That's scary.
That's a little scary.
Y'all want to see a little bit of static electricity?
Yeah!
All right. So, I would like to see some participation today, okay? There's some of you, as you walked in, I thought you would be a good candidate, okay? So, if you don't feel comfortable, just tell us. But there is some of you that we'd like to call on to come down and participate with the presentation. Is that okay? Yeah. All right. First and foremost, my name is Chris Mulliken. This is Dale Stauffaker. We are energy advisors with Caney Electric. So what we're going to do today is this is a representation of what you see every day going to and from school, to and from home. This is everything that you'll see. You'll see power poles, power lines. Some of you may, on your travels, see the big fenced-in areas. Can anybody tell me what this is called? PowerPoint? Power plant? That's really close.
Good answer.
Really good. Electric fence?
They got the right idea.
I like that. Substation. Substation. Can anybody tell me what a substation is made for? Okay, I like that. That's
power for everyone.
That's good. That's good. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out, and this side right here with the bigger poles, this is going to be our TVA transmission lines. This is how we get our power to you. Now, what you don't see is over here. This is what we're going to call and make imaginative, okay? The generation. How does electricity get generated? Uh-huh. Very good.
Steam powered.
So, whenever you said steam, that's perfect. I'm glad that you brought that up. So, TVA is our provider, okay? If you're around the Tennessee Valley, which everybody is in this room, your power comes from TVA. So TVA is 90% coal-fired. So what they do is they have a big tub of water, and they create fire underneath it and feed it coal, just like an old steam engine for a train, okay? Now, whenever you boil water, what happens? Steam. You get steam. So steam turns a turbine with electromagnetics in it and creates electricity. And now we're coming down the line, okay? So over here we're just gonna use our imagination. This is our coal fire plant, and we're producing electricity. As it comes down the line, this is somewhere around 500,000 volts, okay? Way too much to go into your house, right? So what happens? As we come down the line, we got to go into our substation, right? So our substation does two things. It either steps the power up or steps the power down. Now, if we're at 500,000 volts, what do you think we need to do? Down. We got to step it down. So now, if you don't see the area that's fenced off in our substation, then you're probably more likely going to see our main lines, our service, how we get it to you, okay? So in this goes in at 500,000, comes out at 14,400, okay? Now, do you think 14,400 is what you need for a house? No, still too high, still too high. You don't want to have the International Space Station go, Houston, we got a problem. I see a house down in Tennessee lit up with power, right? You don't need that much power. So can anybody tell me what these are called? Just say it out loud.
Power box.
I like it.
Think Optimus Prime and Bumblebee.
What is Optimus Prime and the Bumblebee?
What are they?
Transformers. That's what these are called. These are called transformers, and it does what? It's going to step it back down again. So 500,000, 14,400 to 240. That's all you got to have for your house. That powers your whole home. Okay? So, what are these? Transformers. What is this? Substation. All right. Now, who wants to make some fire and electric? All right. All right. Here we go. Now, put your hands down. Put your hands down. Now, this part we're not going to have hands on. It's that. And I'm going to tell you, that's the death ray right there. Be careful. All right. So now that I told you about kind of how do you get power, let's talk about the safety part of it, okay? Because the main thing is safety. We want y'all to be safe. Do you think you guys should be around this right here? No. Absolutely not. This is not a good hide and seek, okay? You never ever want to come up close to these fences, okay? Is this somewhere to play around? No. What about in the lines coming from the transformer? No, that's good. I'm going to tell you the speed of light. The speed of light is 186,000 miles per second. That is rotating the earth 7 times in a second. Now, why is that important? Because electricity, the speed to go from here to here, is about the same amount of speed, 186,000 miles per second. Well, Mr. Chris, what does that have to do with anything? Well, we're going to talk about Mr. Timmy. Mr. Timmy has a kite that is hung in the power line. Now, instead of calling Caney Fort to come out for free, to come out and get your kite or get his kite out of the power line, he decides he's going to go in his dad's shop and get a metal rod. No. See that? Now, let's see who's paying attention. How fast does that go through his body? You guys are really close. 186,000 miles per second. Okay? So, the time that he touches that passed through his body the same amount of time to rotate the earth 7 times in a second. Okay? Now, listen, here's the thing. Yes, more than likely he is going to not be around no longer. Okay? He doesn't really listen. See, Dale has been talking with Timmy for a very, very long time. And he just does not listen.
He's not a good listener.
He's not a good listener, but it's not like you guys. Now, who's going to go put a metal pole in a power line? Come on. All right. Now, let's talk about our substation. Our substation, I told you, it's not a good place to be going and playing hide and seek, right? Can everybody see? Can everybody see? Everybody see that? Okay, so not a good place to be playing hide and seek, right? Now let's talk about our school bus. So let's say, and this is all, I told Mr. Harvey that I'm actually applying for his pyrotechnics right here. So let's say you're in the school bus and you're coming to school, and something happens, the school bus falls or crashes. Okay? And then all of a sudden, there's a power line that's down on it because of a storm. Now, this is where we got to pay attention, okay?
Yeah, listen to this, guys.
Listen very carefully. Just by a raise of hands, and don't do it twice. Whatever you answer is your answer. You're inside this school bus, and the accident happened, you got a power line on. Who is getting off the school bus? Now keep your hands up. Okay, so the majority, you're getting off the school bus. Okay, hands down.
Now, if you answered that question, you can't answer
You can't answer this one. So the remainder of you, raise your hand if you're staying on the school bus.
Keep your hands up.
Keep your hands up. Everybody that does not have your hands up, look at the people that do.
Look at those silly people that have their hands up.
Guess what? Hey,
Hold on.
listen.
Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up.
Guess what? Guess what?
Guess what?
The people that have their hands up is safe. It's safe.
Why is that, Mr. Chris?
Now check this. Now listen. Listen. Whenever you have an electric power line on metal, okay, and you go to step off, this is on the ground, right? As soon as you go to step off, who becomes part of the ground? You do. So guess what goes through your body at 186,000 miles? Exactly. So now again, the perfect scenario is this bus is not on fire. Somebody's got a cell phone. I mean, I'm sure all of you in here's got cell phones. So whenever you have the opportunity to call 911, this is a 911 moment you want to call. You understand? So let's say the bus is on fire. And this is where I'm going to get laughed at. So let's say that the bus is on fire. Well, Mr. Chris, you said you had to stay in the bus. Well, guess what? The world's not perfect, right? There's opportunities and things that happen that you have to just adjust. So what you do is, it's called the bunny hop. All right. Every time you lift up one foot, zap. Every time you lift up another foot, zap. So what do? Hop like a bunny. Do not touch the bus with your hands. You tuck it in tight, you hop like a bunny. Okay? You hop like a bunny. Don't laugh at me. Hop like a bunny. Or the second thing is once you hop off the bus, you scoot your feet. And you do not raise your feet up. I don't care how far you got to go a long way. Now, why is that? Anybody do archery? Centertown has archery, right? Not I do it yet. Okay, so, but everybody knows about the bullseye. Everybody knows about the target. Okay. Has everybody taken a rock and threw it in water and seen the rippling effects? That's what we call step potential. So right here is our bullseye. Right here at the bus is the bullseye. But how far out should you go before you start walking again? Nobody knows, right? Step potential. It could be just like throwing a dart on a bullseye. If you miss, you still get points. But this is points you don't want, okay? So, hopefully this never, ever, ever, ever has to happen to you. But if it does, just remember those things, okay? Now, last and final thing. Let's talk about this pond over here that this lady decides she wants to get in her sailboat. Now, my question to you is, let's say there's a storm and there's a low-lying power line. She doesn't see it. She's on her boat and she gets into it. Okay? Does she jump off the boat or does she stay in the boat? Stays in the boat. Stays in the boat. Now, again, hopefully she's got a phone or something that she can make a phone call, okay? Stay in the boat. Because the moment you introduce something new, just like if you introduce something new, you now become that path to ground, okay? That's what you don't want. You do not want to be the path to ground. You want to stay away, okay? You don't get second chances with 186,000 miles per second, all right? Just want to make sure that you guys understand that, okay? Be very, very careful. Be cautious. Use your brain. Don't be like Timmy, okay? It's bad, Timmy. It's free to call us to come out and save your kite, okay? I would rather save that kite for $2, $3, $10 than your life, right? Okay. Anything else? Are we good? All right. I'm going to pass this over to Dale to the death ray machine.
All right. Thank you, Chris. All right. Now, I'm sorry about Chris's part of this presentation. It's very boring, so we're going to have fun now, okay? Yeah! All right. So what Chris explained to you was an example of man-made electricity. So that means we create it, we generate it, we get it to your house, right? Where does electricity like to go again? Chris told you. To the ground. Metal's a good conductor, but electricity is in love with the ground. Man-made electricity, electricity loves the ground. I have a different example of electricity. Anybody have an idea what this is called before we get into it? Just say it out loud. Death ray. He said death ray. Tesla coil. That's a good idea. I like that. I like that. Well, I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint. Scientists love to name their devices after them, and the gentleman that invented this has the name of Robert Van de Graaff. Any ideas what this is called now? Oh, you got it. Wow, that's amazing. The Van de Graaff generator. So what this does, this describes static electricity. What's an example of static electricity? Say it out loud. What happens during a bad thunderstorm? What do you see in the sky flash? That is actually an example of static electricity. Probably the most common that you all have experienced is in the wintertime. If you're walking through your house with your socks on and you drag your feet across the carpet and you touch like a doorknob or somebody, what happens? You get shocked, right? Or if you go down a slide, sometimes your hair will stick up. Well, that's what this machine does. This helps explain that. So this little band here in the middle, that is like your feet going across the carpet. I may get shocked here. You can hear that? Can you see that bolt? So that is generating a static charge. There's actually a wool pad in the bottom that this is going across, again, like your feet across the carpet. This ball at the top here, this is actually containing electrons. So electrons, do they have a positive or negative charge? Negative. Electrons have negative. Protons are positive, right? Protons are positive, electrons are negative. So we have a negative charge built up in here. Again, I'm good because I'm grounded, but if I wasn't grounded, would I get shocked by this? Yeah. I would. Where's electricity like to go again? Yeah. Now, here's the funny thing. Can we see electricity? No. Who said no? That's kind of 50-50 really on there. I like the answers. You actually cannot see it with the naked eye. We can see side effects and kind of what it causes. Lightning, we're not necessarily seeing electricity in the sky. We're seeing the burning of gases through the atmosphere that it's causing. You're not necessarily seeing electrons. That's kind of a neat idea there. A neat little tidbit. So, let's see.
Can I pick one?
Oh, we've already got hands up. You don't know what I'm going to ask. I need a volunteer. Now listen before you raise your hand, okay? Because you may not want to do this. There's a chance you will get shocked. It's not bad, but if you listen to me, you won't get shocked. But I do need somebody possibly with long hair. Mr. Chris, find me somebody, please. Now, are you a good listener?
Yes.
Okay, what I want you to do, you see my milk crate here? I want you to stand up on that, please, both feet. I'll hold it down while you get up there. Anybody have an idea why I have her standing on the milk crate? Just say it out loud. She's not touching the ground, that's right. Okay, I want you to keep both of your hands on here the whole time. Okay, you can't take them off. You won't if you listen, okay?
That's why we ask her.
That's why, are you a good listener?
Hey,
okay, now listen. When I turn this on, you're going to hear a click, okay? Don't take your hands off.
Don't take your hands off. Don't take your hands off. Under no circumstance.
Let me know when you start to feel weird.
Hey, don't take your hands off.
What's happening? While you have your hands on there, don't take them off. Shake your hair like you're in a shampoo commercial. Shake your hair out.
Shake it hard. Shake it hard.
Okay. Stay there. All right, everybody, let's listen. What's happening? What do we see? You're seeing an example of static electricity. So what's happening on her, electrons have a negative charge, right? Well, she has a lot of electrons in her. Well, she got a lot of negative charge. So what happens when you have a magnet the same sides facing each other, two magnets? They push away, right? Because they have the same charge. That's what's happening to her hair. Every strand on her head has a negative charge.
Don't move.
Don't move, okay? Take your hands off, but stay on the crane.
Don't.
Now, why is her hair still standing? She's not touching the ground, that's right. Electricity loves the ground. So what's going to happen when she steps down? You want to shock me?
Yes.
Not shocking me? What happens when she touches me? What's going to happen to her hair? Let's see. See that? Look, her hair's still standing a little bit, so she still has a little bit of a negative charge, but it's not like it was, right? All right, go ahead and step down. We got you a little.
There you go. There you go.
All right, now I need 2 volunteers. Hold on. We're not doing the same thing. You will get shocked on this one. Some hands on that. Okay, I need 2 volunteers. Mr. Chris, will you find me 2, please?
I will. Do we need long hair, short hair?
Give me somebody, both. Give me a long hair and a short hair.
I like these 2 in the very top. One long hair, one short hair. Come on.
You get up here. All right, this is going to be a little different, okay? So, we talked about, Mr. Chris talked about the path of electricity from where it was generated, going down the line to your house. So let's pretend this is the same thing, but they're the power lines, okay? I didn't mean to shock you there. I shocked him, I had a charge. So, Mr. Chris, what was he talking about that wasn't on the end there? It generates electricity, right? So this is going to generate our electricity. What I want you to do, take this hand, keep this hand here, okay? Don't take this hand off at all.
Okay.
What I want you to do, bring this other hand out here. I want you to grab that wrist right
What's about to happen?
there. These are my power lines right here, okay? He's on the ground, right? He's on the ground. Where does electricity like to go? To the ground. What do you think is going to happen? Think the hair's going to stick out? Let's see.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Keep your hands together, okay?
I know my.
Don't let go. Don't let go.
Oh my God.
Are you getting shocked right now?
Yes. Oh, I can feel it. I can feel it.
All right. Now listen. Listen. Just good listen. Let go of his wrist. Okay. Don't touch it.
Oh my God. What is going on my head up there?
So, when you get shocked, you let go of his wrist. Why is that? We already had a path for electricity established to ground. So when we broke the path, we didn't get shocked. What do you think is going to happen when we reintroduce the path of electricity? I don't know. I've never seen this before. Let's try it out. I want you to grab your wrist again. You get a little bit of a fire.
When he touched my hand, he actually shot my
Now let your hand off.
shot.
The ball. You're fine. Go ahead and let go. You're good. I shocked you there. He shocked me. All right, guys. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we can't see electricity, but we can do fun things like that to kind of help demonstrate what electricity does. A few other things. We're just going to turn this on. Oh, I got shocked. You're not close enough to feel it, but you can actually feel the static in the air. This helps us demonstrate where the static is. You see, the ball will not touch it. It may not be dark enough in here to see this. Can you see it light up? No light. Watch it turn red. Turn red. So, we actually do have enough electricity to light a light bulb. But do you think this is efficient enough to light your school or provide electricity to your school? It really isn't, unless we had a bunch of you kids pedaling a bike to help generate electricity, which is good. I think there's enough manpower here to do that. Really not a good source of electricity. That's why we have the generators that create electricity for electricity to your house. This is more to have fun with and to demonstrate. Electricity is electricity, just different ways that it's generated. Okay? Well, guys, thank you all so much. We had fun. Does anybody have any questions? Sir? Anybody that doesn't want to pass out? Just questions. Anybody have any questions? So let's talk about jobs within Caney Ford. So, we have linemen and foremen over the linemen. What do you think the linemen do? The hint's in the name. They work on the lines. That's right. You got it right. Lines, poles, anything of that nature. Well, that's not all that helps Caney Ford run. We have engineers. Who likes to draw? Hey, that's a great job for you all.
I'm ready for y'all to come work with me right now.
Yeah. So somebody has to design how the power lines are laid out, right? We got people that draw out the power lines. We actually right now are in a process of putting everything on the computer, having a computer-based mapping system. So that's kind of fun, not necessarily hand-drawn, it's computer-drawn. Well, what else is there? Let's think about when you first walk into the office. Who do you pay your bill to? Huh? To the member representatives in the front end office there. So they're gonna help pay the bill, talk to you about any concerns about your bill, things like that. We've got accounting, all sorts of different things. Chris and I, we work out of the member services department. Our official titles are energy advisors. So what I usually tell people, what's an energy advisor? Basically, an overglorified home inspector is what I say. We look at a little bit of anything. So how many of your parents have ever complained about your electric bill being high? Everybody's, raise your hand. Everybody does it. I do it too. Mine's way too high.
Teachers,
right?
It's okay. You can participate too.
Guess who the guys are that go out to the homes to try to figure out why the bill's high? We do. We look at what's on your side of the meter, and what I mean by that, Caney Fork Electric, we service basically to right here. So where the power line runs to your house. But what we're looking for is what's going on a little further into the house. What's using that electricity? 9 times out of 10, we find something wrong with it. We like that job because we like to problem solve. I kind of act like I'm Sherlock Holmes when I'm in the house. No two houses are the same. Every house is different. You may have in a subdivision the exact same built house. You've seen that. This house looks the same. This house looks the same. This house looks the same. You take that same house and turn one a little bit this way, that changes a whole lot of things to the inside of the house. A lot of it has to do with heat gain. The big part of our jobs, we're constantly learning stuff about solar heat gain, heating and air equipment, the types of electricity that is produced, things of that nature. So you never quit learning. School's very important, kids. When you get out of here, you're going to high school, right? What are you going to do when you get out of high school? College or a technical trade. Hey, college isn't necessarily the only route. There are other routes that are just as important, if not more, okay? Okay? Always further your education, but just kind of keep in mind, just because you're out of those technical trade schools or college, that doesn't mean that your learning ends. You're always learning. We're always learning on that end. But if y'all ever have any questions, please feel free to let your teachers know. They'll contact us. We'll try to answer them the best we can, okay? Thank you all so much. You all were great.
Don't leave us.
Don't leave us. Don't leave us.
You
Stick
just
around
don't
for
want to
another.
go
Thank you.
back to class. All right.